All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So there's this new thing going on where basically a bunch of podcasts and YouTubers and people like that are going broke. And in my personal opinion, it's their own doing because they get more than enough views. It's just the fact that they've gotten to a point where their overhead has gotten so ridiculously expensive that they have to make a crap ton of money from YouTube in order to sustain their media business. Now, the case in point here is Tim Pool. So Tim Pool recently did a video where he said that the ratings have fallen to the point where, he didn't say that the ratings have fallen to that point, but basically he said that his podcast is no longer profitable. Now, there have been people who have been pointing out that I've seen on Twitter that his views have gone down. Now, what is one thing that we do know? All of the people who are defenders of the state of Israel and Benjamin Netanyahu and basically just Zionism itself, a lot of their views are going down. There is a shift happening, especially on social media, where people are gravitating more towards people who are a lot more critical or outspoken about the Israeli government. And they're kind of shunning the people who are more so allied or only have good things to say about them and refuse to be critical. Let's go ahead and listen to what Tim Pool had to say.
So where does that leave us? We have 2 weeks left in the year before we go on our Christmas hiatus. You know, I'm not a big fan of any kind of hiatus. I would prefer just to work. But it is taxing, it is grueling, of course. And there's a lot of infrastructure here that requires me to work all day, every day, Monday to Friday, with some extra work on the weekends, usually meetings. And I'm probably going to have a stroke. My health's actually pretty good. My blood pressure is great. My resting heart rate is actually around 45. I exercise quite a bit. Haven't been able to skate in the past month or two, the holidays and, But we have to have these conversations, and I have been, with the people, our contractors, people we work with, our vendors, partners. And one thing is clear. The violence will get worse. It is going to escalate. We cannot keep going as status quo. Something has to change. It may be that, as we described after the assassination of Charlie Kirk and the threat to come and shoot up our studio and our workplace, we asked, at what point do we say we can't do this anymore? The cost of running Timcast IRL Studio and the projects around it exceeds the amount of money it brings in. That's just that breaking point, isn't it, for any business?
So he just basically said it right there. The costs are higher than the amount of money that they are bringing in. That, by definition, is an unprofitable business. But what's funny and weird about that is this guy has a highly successful YouTube channel. Like, I would love to get the amount of views that this guy gets. Like, he's killing it. Matter of fact, he's killing it so much, he's able to do this full time. His full-time job is to wake up and be a YouTuber and run his mouth about issues, and people like it. So I don't even understand how you even get into a situation like this where you're unprofitable and your business has lost money when all you really do is get on a microphone and talk. That's really all this guy does. Like, I don't understand. I get it. He probably has this big old team, which I would argue I don't think a whole lot of YouTubers need it. He probably has editors, producers, script writers, whatever, all this fancy stuff that these YouTubers need. But I don't even think he needs that. I think people just like him for him. So I think the first thing he could do to make his business profitable is he probably needs to cut some of those employees and honestly just fire them. Like, that tends to happen with a lot of these YouTubers when they get to a certain size and they get so big. And this is just my opinion. I think a lot of YouTubers kind of get lazy. They're like, Because let's be real, when he first started his YouTube channel, did he have this big team? Probably not. Most people, when they start their YouTube channel, they were a one-man show. They wore all the hats. They wore the editing hat, the thumbnail hat, the titling hat, the producing hat, the finding the subjects to talk about hat. They wore all the hats, right? And then what happens is once they get to a certain size and they get so big, Well, now they're like, well, why would I sit here and edit videos and create thumbnails when my last video just made $3,000? Like, I'm making $3,000 a video, or maybe even more. He probably makes more than that. You add in the sponsorships, that's even more. So these guys get lazy and they're like, I could just pay somebody to do this. Or next thing you know, they think that their YouTube channel is just going to be relevant and huge forever, and they think they're going to keep making all that money forever. And so they're like, okay, well, I'm just going to hire employees and make this thing into a whole operation in the business. And then next thing you know, you end up in a situation where his YouTube channel is not even profitable, which is a damn shame because he really does get an insane amount of views. Let me actually go ahead and go to his YouTube channel because I'm telling you, this guy gets a lot of freaking views. Look at that. 1.7 million subscribers. And then if you just look, I think he said Tim Pool IRL. I think he said that one. So let's go to, or is it Timcast? Timcast IRL. Okay, let's look at Timcast IRL. So just looking at Timcast IRL, okay, the views have definitely gone down dramatically, which is interesting because this guy used to get a crap ton of views back in the day. Yeah, a lot of his views are, and again, 20, 30, 40K views is still not bad, but when you got 2.58 million subscribers, that's not that good for a channel of this size. I'm not going to lie to you. This is very similar to what we've seen. This goes back to what I said about a lot of the people who are speaking positively about the Israeli government and Benjamin Netanyahu and just refuse to be critical of them in any way, shape, or form. Their views are dropping massively. We've seen Ben Shapiro's views drop massively. I'm getting word that the Charlie Kirk show's views are dropping massively, but that's a different story because the guy got assassinated, so that's way different. But yeah, I remember when Tim Pool was getting like hundreds of thousands of views a video. Some videos would even get 1 million. I remember that. I have not seen his channel in a long time. I don't really watch it, to be honest. But getting 19,000 views, 29,000 views, 21,000 views on some of your videos, 30K. This one got 127K, but most of his videos don't even get over 50K views. Like, majority of his videos are at 28, 33, 40K, which is insane. So, you know, this is great if you're just a one-man show. Like, if you're a one-man show and you do everything yourself, this is fantastic. You can easily live a great life, make a great living doing this, and make plenty of money getting these kind of views, especially since the guy's putting out like 4 or 5 videos a day. Let me go to his other channel. But the problem is when you have like an editing team and producers and all this other stuff, then you know that'll ruin it. That'll definitely make you unprofitable and lose a lot of money. And that's what I see here. So just looking at his regular Tim Pool channel, I can't believe how much his views have fallen. He used to get a crap ton of views. And that's the other thing about YouTube. You got to be very careful being a full-time YouTuber. Like, it's not fun to be a full-time YouTuber because what if you fall off? What if people just decide, hey, I don't really like this guy anymore, and they just stop watching? And now you're just losing money as opposed to when you have a job or you have a steady paycheck. Like, entrepreneur is not easy, folks. It really isn't. And yeah, I can't believe how far he's fallen. But he could easily alleviate a lot of that if he just got rid of all this overhead. He's talking about all this, the other stuff that I do in the shows and the meetings. He said in his thing where he was talking about it that he has meetings. Like, what do you have meetings for? Like, meetings? I don't know why you need meetings to basically make videos about the trending topics and news that's going on. But again, I don't know the ins and outs of his business, so what do I know? So I just wanted to react to the fact that his views have fallen tremendously, and also the fact that he even admitted himself that his YouTube channel, which gets a crap ton of views a month, is unprofitable. That is crazy, but hey, not everybody's good at running a business, you know? So anyway, that's today's video. Just wanted to react to that. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.